will be drafting Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence because they have their quarterback. But that is our Dr. Pepper Twitter question this morning. If you had a choice, Fields, Lawrence, to be picked number 1 overall, April 29th, 2021, in Cleveland, which will be the home of the 2021 NFL Draft. We'll get McElroy's opinion on that as a stud college quarterback himself coming up at 7:30. So let's start it out with Key's Real Rankings, the top 7.
Number 7, Saints.
Where you at, who dat?
Look, the New Orleans sits at 7. They continue to win football games despite not having Michael Thomas in the lineup. I think when they get him back, they'll certainly move up. They were on a bye this week. Really can't give them any major points. Just let them rest up and get them back against Tampa Bay on a Sunday night game next week. Number 6, the cute Cardinals.
They were cute, but they're starting to look pretty now.
Here's Arizona again. The last time we saw them, they did work to Seattle. They are on a bye. They're rested up, although they got some COVID issues, as Cliff Kingsbury said yesterday. I think that this team will be an exciting team down the stretch right now, and they sit at 6. I don't mind having them at 6. Will they stay in the top 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 ranking as the season continues to go on? You never know where I might go. Number 5, Ravens.
Big trust. Woo, woo.
You know, big trust, whoop, whoop. I still believe that the Baltimore Ravens are one of the top 5 teams in all of the National Football League. It just that they've got to now figure out the passing game for Lamar Jackson. How can we get him going? The trade deadline is today. What are you willing to do to have him evolve as a passer so you can win a Super Bowl? The Buffalo Bills notably went out and got Stephon Diggs to help Josh Allen. Let's see if they pull off a move in Baltimore to try to help Lamar Jackson. Number 4, Buccaneers.
Come on now, fellas. We're gonna answer the bell. Now let's go.
Yo soy fiesta.
Tom Brady screaming and hollering at his teammates. But anyway, when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
it's passionate.
Passionate. You look at the Buccaneers at number 4, they dip a little bit, right? The Giants took them to the woodshed basically last night. If it wasn't for Danny Dimes not diming away on a 2-point conversion to take it into overtime, it was one of those situations where you looked at the sloppy play of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the sloppy play of the New York Giants, which essentially gave the Buccaneers the victory. Danny Dimes is going in for a go-ahead touchdown, presumably, and he turns the ball over. Tom Brady gets the ball, go down and score. And Tampa Bay wouldn't be at 4 if that happened. They'd still be at a higher ranking. But because they played the way they did against the Giants, I had to drop them slightly.
Did you do that on purpose with Tom Brady in 4? Did you do that on purpose?
I see what you did.
I didn't even think of it. Good shot. Number 3, Seahawks.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, I like Seattle. They're one of the top 3 teams in the league. You drop them down slightly at number 3, but when you look at it, this team is going to be there, I believe, in the NFC Championship game, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Green Bay Packers or the New Orleans Saints. Those are the 4 that are fighting for that number 1 seed in the NFC. And I think when you look at it, Seattle, Russell Wilson playing for an MVP. I can guarantee you today, right now at 7:21 on our show, Russell Wilson will get at least 1 MVP vote this year.
Mark the tape.
Number 2, Steelers.
The last game was the last game. This one was us.
Here's a team that's undefeated in the National Football League, but ranked number 2. And when you look at Pittsburgh, they don't win pretty. It's always kind of like ugly. It's snow. It's wet. It's rain. It's Big Ben. It's the style of play that has you really believing that they could win the thing because everything that they're doing is portable. They get the football to the receivers. They run the ball. They play good defense. It's one of those deals where Mike Tomlin knows how to coach. Top 4 coach in the National Football League. He's winning without Ben. He's winning with Ben. I think when you look at it, though, they don't have the type of explosiveness that Kansas City might have. So, therefore, they're number 2. And number 1, Kansas City.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Might be a double.
I mean, the moment that you think Kansas City, they lose to the Raiders, and you're like, And then it comes out there, he throws for 5 touchdowns, 400-plus yards in the air. He basically did what he wanted to do against the New York Jets. And it's, I mean, they are the cream of the crop. I mean, you can't say anything about Kansas City. The defense is playing pretty good. They got all the toys and weapons. They've inserted Le'Veon Bell into the equation now. So there's a 2-headed monster in the backfield. I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of just continue to move forward and get to the playoffs because I want to see what they look like come playoff time.
To see if they can win their second Super Bowl in as many years after waiting 50 years between Super Bowl 4 and 54. That's how you make it efficient. So you had the Steelers at number 2, but is it too early to talk about something Key doesn't want to talk about, but we will. 16-0 talk. Remember the Dolphins, the only team, the 72 Dolphins, to go perfect the whole way. Back then they were playing a 14-game regular season. The Pats did go perfect in the regular season in the Brady era before being tripped up by the Giants. Jay, you wanted to get into something before we go perfection possibility?
I did, just because I wanted to understand the reasoning a little bit. I know that they're undefeated, but it's interesting when I hear Key's brain and how it works, because his reasoning for the Steelers were they found a way to win ugly. The game wasn't pretty. It was ugly. But then Tampa Bay, they win ugly, and they get dropped because they went ugly. So I'm trying to figure that out.
Tampa Bay's ugly win, they almost lost, right? They almost lost. Baltimore is 18 times better than the Giants. 18 times. Do the math. It's not even close.
Understood.
So when I look at the opponent, and I look at how the Giants played the Buccaneers so tough, Tampa should have lost the game.
But doesn't
they should have lost that game to a team that has one victory on the year, fighting to stay alive for a top draft pick. That's what they were doing.
I mean, but can't you say every team has those type of games? I mean, the Steelers were in battles with the Texans. They were in battles with the Broncos.
The Texans are better than the Giants. The Texans are better than the Giants. And when the Steelers needed to pull away from the Giants, they pulled away.
Are they, though?
Yeah.
Are they? I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't know about that.
Man, the Texans are way better than the Giants.
Okay. All right. I don't know about that. Just because you say it, I don't know about that.
So you want Danny Dimes and Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I'm not saying it's just not a matchup, but just the quarterbacks.
No, but I'm just saying, you want that or you want what you have?
So you're telling me? So I mean, both teams. The Texans have won one game.
They're better than the Giants.
They're exponentially better than the Giants. You can just say that with conviction.
I could say it with conviction. I promise you, I can. They play the Giants straight up. They're gonna pop the Giants.
Okay.
Let me say this with conviction. For those of you just waking up, didn't see the end of the game last night. It was quite a doozy. The Giants score a touchdown going in for a game-tying 2-point conversion. And Daniel Jones throws to the end zone looking for Dion Lewis. Antoine Winfield Jr. got in there. They initially threw a flag on a 2-point conversion to tie a game late in the fourth quarter. Eventually, the flag was picked up, and the Bucs survived 25-23. They are now 6-2. So let's just go win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Steelers schedule the rest of the way as the league's lone unbeaten. All right, let's start. This is an easy one, guys. We'll just spitball them back and forth. This Sunday, next up at Dallas.
Win. DiNucci, win.
Key?
Win.
Okay, then, now this is intriguing because this guy's a little better than DiNucci. They will host the Bengals.
Win, man. Stop. The Bengals ain't going to beat them.
I mean, I think Joe Burrow, the way he played last game, it could be interesting if he gets
cool.
Hot. I would still have Pittsburgh favored.
Stop, man.
Then they'll go to Jacksonville.
The mustache. Stop.
Okay.
That's a win.
So now we're 10-0.
The Ravens, that's the game.
That's the one. They'll host Baltimore Thanksgiving night in front of the entire country.
It could be interesting, but I still think that Pittsburgh, it's the same thing. What are they going to do to make a difference for Lamar Jackson in the passing game? What are they going to do? Are they going to go out and acquire an alpha dog at wide receiver? Are they going to go get me a 6'3", 210-pound, sub-4'4" guy that they're going to find somewhere?
They got 8.5 hours to do it. The deadline for
Go
Eastern
find
today.
me that dude. I need one of them dudes.
Well, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they don't fear the Ravens.
As he said.
They don't fear the Ravens. So I look forward to that game.
Okay, so now we're at 11-0. Then
the only team that can beat them is the Colts. The Colts are the Ravens. Those are the two. I mean, maybe the Bills.
We'll get to the Colts
so
here in a second.
Here's the crazy thing about it is the only team that can beat them in our eyes may be like the Colts and maybe the Bills or maybe the Ravens. But there's always this team that you never think about that all of a sudden you look up and you go, oh, damn, they down by how many? So you just got to be careful. That's why I'm not always 16-0, 16-0. Because as you start to get into week 13, 12, and it starts to come up even more, that pressure starts to come on, the stress level of going 16-0, that's a lot. I mean, you had this conversation about the Kansas City Chiefs. I told them, man, they're not going 16-0. Then they get popped by the Raiders.
That they did. Let's run through it real quick. Week 13, as you mentioned, that 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Washington football team, obviously a win.
It should be a win, but you just never know.
That'd be an interesting game.
Kyle Allen may come out and just torch them.
And then it'll be at Buffalo. That's the one you kind of had a little trepidation about a minute ago.
Yeah, you go, okay, Buffalo, what's the environment, the flight, snow, rain, nobody in the stands. It feels like a practice. You slip up and you lose that game.
Burrow again after that.
Look, I would love to see a team go undefeated. It just seems improbable in a year that we have COVID. We have a lot of health issues that come up. It just